Spider-Wimp, Diary of Wimpy Kid LLB. Now, I like Spider-Man. I'm sure everybody loves Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a snazzy character. And somebody made a Diary of Wimpy Kid fan fiction of Spider-Wimp. So I thought, why not read it? That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's go. And please, by the way, subscribe. If we get to 250 subscribers by, like, Friday, that would be super cool. All I need you to do is hit the subscribe button. It's free. If you like Wimpy Kid, I read LLBs or fan fictions like pretty often, like 3 times a week. So you definitely should subscribe. It's free. Just hit the red button. It'll help me out a ton. But yeah, Diary of Wimpy Kid Spider-Wimp. September, Monday. Today was my first day of my junior year. This year, I really want to make more of an impact at school. Sure, my grades have been fine, and high school has been a lot more bearable than middle school was, but I still like the popularity I find myself desiring. Rowley met me at my house when we walked up to school. Once we got there, we met up with Shirag, the legend himself. Shirag and I have a bit of a history together, with the whole invisible Shirag joke from back in middle school and everything, but since then he'd become a good friend, and that was before his dad had that huge breakthrough at the tech company he was working at. Quickly became CEO after transforming the small company to a multi-million-dollar enterprise in the last 2 years, and renamed it to Gupta Industries. Everyone has been so much nicer to Shirag ever since his family became rich, but Shirag stayed in the nice, simple, dirty kid he always has been, which is great when you're already his friend and you're not exactly made of money. Dina is on me tonight, lads. I'm sorry, but he is Indian in the movie, so I am doing an accent. If you have a problem with it, that's okay, then I can't really do anything about that, but yeah. Shirag is also pretty much a genius. He gets to spend a lot of his spare time at his dad's company and mess around with prototypes and spare tech. Pretty sure he'll go straight into working at his dad's company when he graduates high school. He has actually built his hoverboard. He can't power it up for longer than a minute without it being plugged into a massive power switch. Shirag is the Green Goblin. That's what's going to happen. Rowley, Shirag, and I all had science together last period. Our teacher, Mrs. Mayer, told us we were going on a field trip next week to a research lab. We have an assignment on genetics due at the end of the term. Thursday, today at lunch, Roger called me. He and his band Loaded Diaper were scouted out by a rock music veteran last year and have been touring over the last few months. He said he would be coming home in a few weeks and that he has really enjoyed touring. They might be even going overseas next year. Roderick also asked about Manny. Things have been going downhill for a while since he got to primary school. At 8 years old, he's been suspended twice, each time for beating up another kid. I wouldn't have believed you 4 years ago if you had told me that Manny would be a bully in the future, but that's how it is. I told Roderick that Manny was back at school now. And I hope he doesn't screw up again. Honestly, I blame Mom and Dad for the way that Manny is now. They always babied him and pretty much did whatever he wanted, which led to him having a pretty skewed view of how the world works. He was a crybaby about it for a while, which led to him being bullied, which eventually turned him into a bully. Now that he's back at school, I really hope he can keep himself out of trouble. Monday. Today, Shirag told us about the research lab we are going to tomorrow for the field trip. He said that his dad works with them on certain projects. Turns out they have some of the world's most powerful spiders in the world at this lab, and using some of Gupta's industry radioactive DNA splicing technology, they've managed to combine the abilities of these spiders into one genetically modified super spider. Now, I'm no science nerd or anything, but that sounds awesome. We all agreed we should do our genetics assignment on the spiders that we'd go to those labs there first tomorrow. I just had a stroke reading that sentence. Wednesday. Okay, the strange thing happened to me yesterday. I was about to write in this journal last night when I got home, but as I started, I passed out on my desk and slept through until this morning. Yesterday started off fine. We went to the research lab and looked at the spiders like we had planned, as well as what skills they have. They managed to combine the strongest attributes of things like strength, venom, camouflage into one radioactive super spider. Fortunately, while we were there, it went missing. Science at the lab told us not to panic and notified them immediately if we found it. Rowley and Shirag went off to look at one of the areas of the lab. I went towards the DNA splicing lab to look for it there. I was in the corridor leaning towards the lab when I felt it. Ah! That hurt a lot. I looked at my wrist and saw it was a black, hairy, slender-looking creature. It was a super spider. Of course, I didn't really process any of that initially, because my first instinct was to shake it off and run like hell. I ran to the bathroom, locked the door, and climbed up on the toilet just so there was no chance it could climb up my legs. Eventually, I calmed down and came out. By then, Albert Sandy said he had found the spider, and it was dead. I hoped that no one would tie the death to me. I wanted to go home. I was feeling lightheaded, and my wrists hurt a lot from the spider bite. I know probably should have told someone that I got bitten by a radioactive super spider. I knew I would have been teased for hiding in the bathrooms for ages. Rowley and Sherog found me, and they said they hadn't seen me for 2 hours. I don't know if I'd passed out or fell asleep in the bathrooms, but it definitely hadn't been that long to me. Guess I lost all track of time looking at all the spiders. I decided not to tell Rowley or Sherog about my encounter just yet. The mark on my wrist from the bite had grown. I made sure to keep it hidden on the bus ride back to school. After school, I was feeling really tired, so I didn't eat dinner. Then I passed out at my desk, like I mentioned. Things started to get even weirder once I woke up. It felt like I had the deepest sleep of my life, and somehow I hadn't woken up at all while being in a very uncomfortable sleeping position. The next thing I noticed was how incredible my vision was. I tried putting in my contacts, but it made my sight a whole lot worse, so I felt left them off for the first time in ages. I went downstairs and talked to Mom. I realized that it wasn't just my sight that improved. I could hear Manny getting ready for school. I could hear Mom as she talked to me, and I could hear Dad brushing his teeth. I think Greg just has autism. I don't know about super strength or super spider powers, but I don't know. That might just be it. It was like all my senses had at least quadrupled in ability. I was pretty hungry, so I went to make some breakfast. I opened the fridge door. It almost fell off the fridge. I was really strong. I opened that fridge like it was nothing. However, it was only a fridge door, so I ran into the garage to try lifting something a lot heavier. I was so excited. What would Holly Hills say if she saw I could do this? After breakfast, I got completely ready for school as fast as I could. I knew I had to do some more tests with my newfound abilities. It was obvious the radioactive spider had caused this, which the mark of had now faded quite a bit. Why was that? Okay, I don't know why I'm struggling to read right now, but I'm just tired, I guess. And it had done something to my DNA, so what could I do? On my way to school, I realized that I was walking really fast and it wasn't tiring at all. So I looked around to make sure no one was watching, and I ran as fast as I could. I was probably running about double my regular speed, but it was in my endurance that was most shocking to me. I was barely feeling it. I could have kept it going at top speed for a while, but I didn't run straight into the brick wall that I didn't see while I engrossed in my thoughts. I realized two things after running into the wall. One was that it hurt. I should have gotten a few bruises at minimum there. My body got all tingly and started to get rid of the pain, so I could heal and regenerate. Second, and even more interesting thing, that was when I collided in the wall, my hand got stuck to it. I had to really concentrate to take it off, but that gave me an idea. I dropped my bag and I tried it. He's climbing like Spider-Man. Wow, that's cool. I don't know how I was doing this, but I was climbing the wall super easily. I pretty much have superpowers, so what do I do now? Sad as it sounds, I decided to climb back down and go to school. I didn't really know how to feel. Of course, I was excited, but I was also kind of anxious about it all. I decided that I still wouldn't tell anyone about it yet. I need time to think. At lunchtime today, Sherog said that over the weekend, he and his dad were planning to implement a power source into the hoverboard, and that Sunday we should come to Goop to interview to see if it works. Okay, I don't know why, but I feel like this is a good time to mention. Actually, there is no good time, because I just want to shoehorn my opinions to my audience. Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man. That is all. That's all I have to say. If there's any angry Raimi fanboys down in the comments, sure, I'll take you on. Pause. But yeah, I would really love to hear your the Raimi movies. You know, I'll just do a tier list at the end of the video. We'll just do that because I have a lot to say, and this is a good excuse to talk about it. After lunch, I had phys ed. I only have the one period a week of phys ed now that I'm in junior year, but I quickly realized that I find everything way too easy. I need to act bad at it now, which is funny since I would have given anything to be a good athlete and to be popular. But until I make a decision about my powers and who knows about them, I have to appear as my regular week-old self. Gasp! Wheeze! When I got home, I was feeling tired again, so I had an early dinner and went to bed early. I have decided to keep my powers a secret Friday. Whoops, okay, whatever. At least until I could be certain there will be zero consequences for revealing my powers. If I've learned anything from watching superhero movies, it's that everyone knowing who you are is never a good idea. Because I don't know why, but I like having a big secret like this that I only could know about. Only I could know about. I know that someone will probably find out eventually, but until then, I'm going to stay quiet. After I overheard my dad watching local news about the police being in the middle of a major drug bust. The idea of being a superhero was really enticing. I knew I had to go. So that's how I ended up spending my evening on the internet learning various fighting moves. Next, I needed to disguise their costume or something, so I looked through my drawers and found a ski mask. I waited for everyone to go to sleep, then I grabbed my coat, jumped out my window, and ran downtown. I got to near the area I knew the drug bust was. I could see the flashing police lights. I decided to run around back and look for a way inside, so I climbed up the building behind it and crawled up onto the roof. I could see through the windows that there was 2 guys with guns at the back door. So that was a no-go. The roof, however, looked pretty weak out and was unguarded. So I ran across the roof and I was on it and jumped 3 meters across. The building's roof was pretty flimsy and I was able to break through pretty easily. Quietly, I crawled across the underside of the roof. I knew I needed to take out the bad guys at the back entrance. Crawled down the wall and quietly ran across the corridor towards the back door. I stuck on the 2 guys and attacked. Okay, another quick thing. What really bothers me in every like Spider-Man movie is like Peter Parker's a nerd, right? And in this Diary of Wimpy, they surprisingly cover this. But how does he know how to fight? Like, especially like these guys. Okay, first of all, in the Raimi movies, Peter Parker is a huge nerd. This guy should not be able to kick ass. Like, this guy, like, yeah, he could, like, swing and, like, use the swing momentum to kick people. But other than that, like, you can't, like, do shit, really, realistically. He's just, really the super strength is, like, they shouldn't be able to fight as well as they could be. Like, maybe the only one is, like, Andrew Garfield, because that guy's, like, lean and mean, and he's the best Spider-Man. Just saying. Maybe not best Peter Parker, but Spider-Man. And yes, there's a difference between the two, kind of. The personas. Anyway, and especially in the Spider-Wimp case, it sounds like you watched the video. Like, if you actually have done martial arts training, you can't just watch a video. Like, dog, like, maybe the super strength kind of, like, carries him the extra way. But, like, dude, look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. Look at that. He has a gun. He's like, what? Surprise? Shoot him! He kicked you. You could just shoot him with the gun. Anyway, sorry. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Back to the fan fiction. I'm getting my personal opinions into this a bit much, but anyway. I managed to knock them both out pretty easily. As I worked my way through the building, I took out I took out thug after thug, taking their guns with me. Eventually, only the guys at the front were left, the ones who were waiting and watching the cops. There were too many of them to take out all at once. What was I going to do? That's when I heard the back door bust open. Everybody freeze! The police boat burst in, led by Captain Peters, and arrested everyone. I was about to crawl through the space in the roof I had made, but then something caught me on the eye on one of the shelf. I hopped down to inspect it, and it was filled with $20 bills and what I assumed was cocaine. Hold it! $20 bills. They're running a drug operation and they have $20 bills. 20s. Dude, no, they're gonna have hundreds. No, do they think Pablo Escobar, which is like, had duffel bags buried with 20s? Hell no. This guy had no, what? So thank you for listening to my other TED Talk. I don't know why I'm getting so heated right now, but anyway. Obviously, I was gonna stay well away from the drugs. You could sell the drugs for money, Craig. Don't take this advice, by the way, kids. But anyway. But, like, Greg isn't being... The money was interested... Okay, Greg says he's interested in the money here, but you could just sell the coke for money. That's always a good option. The police would find plenty of money once they searched the place. I had done them a huge favor by taking out half of the dealers. So I decided to grab as much money as I can, shove it into my pockets, and get out of there. I was joking about the drug part, YouTube. Please don't take this video down. You shouldn't sell drugs. Drugs are bad. Anyway... I forgot, I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, plus stealing from drug dealers isn't really stealing, right? No, they contribute to the economy, Greg. What do you mean? When I got home, I crawled back through my window and counted the money. I managed to score about 2,000. Wow, these, I don't know what kind, like, dude, look at these. These are all, like, high school kids. No wonder they have 20s. That's very sad. He went to sleep with his heart still pounding. Saturday. Today I slept in. After I had breakfast, I messaged Rowley and Shrug to see if they wanted to do anything. Shrug was working with his dad, and Rowley was going to do homework, so we decided we'd meet up tomorrow at Gupta Industries for when Shrug and Mr. Gupta were going to test out the new power source in the hoverboard. Mom said I could do something with Manny, but we don't really have a lot of common, so I decided to play video games all day. That's not in the news. I heard about the drug bust. Police are baffled after a mysterious masked figure takes down drug dealers. I got my own report on the news. This is awesome. I knew I had to go out again tonight and to try and stop some more crime. So once again, I waited till everyone was asleep, then I crawled out my window and ran to town. I decided to go to the area in town where people would actually be. The clubs, bars, casinos, and restaurants. Over the course of the night, I stopped 3 girls from being... I can't say that on YouTube. 2 drunken fights and a robbery. Not bad for a night's work. And guess what? The person who made this just didn't continue it after this. There's like a small segment here, but that's not relevant. So now we're going to do Spider-Man movie tier list. Movie tier list. Okay, so we have A, B, C, D. Okay, first of all, we're gonna do this in not like chronological order, but like order where it's like which one was released first, so it is chronological order. Spider-Man 1. Okay, the Raimi movies, they're the ones I grew up with personally, but I still don't think they're like amazing. But they're like corny. It's a good origin. And I don't know. Tobey Maguire is really good at being a wimp, but he's not really good at like being like I don't know. He's a good Peter Parker. He's the best Peter Parker, not the best Spider-Man. But personally, I'll put this in B. It's good. It's a good first movie. Okay, Spider-Man 2. Oh, Spider-Man 2 is really good. Like, this is the one everybody fanboys over. I also really like it, and I thought it was overrated at first, but I think I really like it. Oh, Spider-Man 3. Oh, this is my favorite one. I just like laughing at it. But objectively, I'm gonna put it at A, because, like, this is how, like, I don't know, this is just my hot take right here. Spider-Man 2 is objectively the best one. Spider-Man 3 is the one I like watching the most. Spider-Man 1 is like a mix of the two. So, yeah, maybe it's B and A. Who knows? But I'm just going to leave it as it is right now. The Amazing Spider-Man. I actually really like it. It's an A. It's probably the best looking Spider-Man movie. Not much to say there. Spider-Man Far From Home. A lot of people say this one sucks. It's kind of mid, but it doesn't suck. So it's just constrained by the Marvel formula, unfortunately. Wait, this isn't even... Oh, I forgot to do Homecoming. Oh, Homecoming is really good. It's like my personal objective favorite. Maybe Spider-Man 2 is better. I did not mean to go back. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so I'll put it in S tier. Amazing Spider-Man. Right, I put in A. What was I doing again? Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, I forgot to do Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay, so it's not good. It's not good. It's D. I'm sorry. Oh, Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, it's like, whatever. It's a good movie, but it's just boring to rewatch. C, maybe? Yeah, sure. Villains' motivations are kind of mid. Oh yeah, I have to talk about, like, the villains and stuff. Doc Ock, he's, like, kind of crazy. That makes sense. Yeah, the villains in Spider-Man 3, the 3 villains. Venom, yeah, Venom makes sense. Sandman is really good. And the Green Goblin's also really good. Yeah. And Lizard, you know, I would put Tasm in S, but the Lizard's kind of not the best villain. Green Goblin's a great villain. You know, I'm moving that up, and I'm moving this up as well. There we go. This is the tier list for now. Okay, so yeah, that goes in D. Venom, it's not that good. It's just C. It's fun, but not that good. And so would Venom would be Venom Let There Be Carnage. That movie would also be in C. Venom 2 would also be in C, but it's not here. Oh, Spider-Verse, it's really good. And No Way Home is really good. There we go. That's the right list. It's the only list that should be. Yeah. Goodbye. Like and subscribe.